They fined me for having weeds in my yard, so I turned it into a jungle. It all started one morning when I walked outside and found a bright yellow slip taped to my front door. In bold black letters it read, "Violation, yard not maintained. Daily fine, $100 until resolved." At first I thought it was a mistake. What yard were they even talking about? Mine was perfectly fine. Sure, I had 3 tiny dandelions poking up near the mailbox, but that was it, 3 little flowers. But apparently, in the twisted world of my HOA president, those dandelions were a full-blown crime. You see, the HOA had a rule. Lawns had to be trimmed, spotless, and uniform. Basically, they wanted the whole neighborhood to look like a golf course. And apparently, my yard, with its 3 brave weeds, had ruined the aesthetic. I wasn't about to pay $100 a day for dandelions, so I went to the next board meeting to clear things up. I stood there explaining calmly that I take care of my yard and that this violation was absurd. But before I could even finish, the HOA president smirked at me from across the table and said, "Rules are rules. Maybe you should hire a landscaper if you can't handle it yourself." That smug little grin lit a fire in me. If they thought a couple weeds were bad, they hadn't seen anything yet. That weekend, I went full Dr. Frankenstein on my front lawn. I dug up the boring, perfect green grass that the HOA worshipped and started replacing it with chaos. I planted wildflowers, bright red, purple, yellow, every color you could imagine. I added towering sunflowers that grew taller than the fence line. Creeping ivy started crawling across the ground. Thick clover patches spread like a green carpet. And just to make sure I really made a statement, I planted a row of bamboo along the edge. By the end of the month, my yard didn't look like a lawn anymore. It looked like a rainforest. And let me tell you, people noticed. Bees buzzed happily around the wildflowers. Butterflies swarmed the blossoms. Birds started nesting in the bamboo. It wasn't just a yard, it was alive. Neighbors walking by slowed down just to stare. Some even brought their kids over to see the jungle house. One family down the street started calling my yard the butterfly garden, and soon other kids in the neighborhood begged their parents to visit. And here's the best part. Realtors started using my jungle as a selling point. They'd brag about the eco-friendly landscaping trend whenever they showed houses nearby. Suddenly, my so-called violation was making the neighborhood more valuable. Of course, the HOA hated it. They sent me another violation notice, this time saying my yard was out of compliance with community standards. They tried to fine me again, but what they didn't realize was I wasn't stupid. Before I ever planted a single flower, I'd done my homework. I had registered my yard as a certified wildlife habitat through a state conservation program. That meant my jungle wasn't just legal, it was protected by state law. So when the HOA pushed harder, I fought back. And this time, I had backup. The state environmental agency sent the board a warning letter. It said any attempts to fine or destroy this habitat will result in legal action. That was the end of it. The HOA went silent. The ridiculous daily fines vanished. Instead of 3 tiny weeds, the HOA is stuck with a permanent protected rainforest right in the middle of their cookie-cutter neighborhood. And the best part? I never mow a single blade of grass. Like and subscribe if you think this is real.